You don't need 20% down to purchase a home, but you do need a plan. And in order to figure out what that plan is, you really need to speak with a mortgage lender to figure that out. And I have plenty of resources for that. But I'm going to kind of break down a few options for you. But long story short, when you're working this debt program, one of the things that I want you to be doing, I know we talked about saving 3 to 6 months in emergency funds. I also want you to be saving money for your down payment, and what you will need for a down payment, depending on the loan type that you want to or you can apply for. And you should have access to all of them at this point in time. If you've gone by these steps I just mentioned to you, but you need to save 3 to 3.5% for your minimum down payment. Now, obviously, I'd encourage you to put as much as you can down. What the 20% rule is for is to get rid of PMI, which is primary mortgage insurance. Primary mortgage insurance helps protect the bank in case you default on the loan. So that's where that 20% rule comes from. And if you can do that, that's absolutely wonderful. And so what you need to determine if that is, how much you need to save is basically how much you want to spend. So if you're wanting to spend $300,000, then the minimum that you need to be able to save up is about $12,000 because that's 3%. If you're wanting to spend $500,000, then we just up that 3 times, 5 is 15, so $15,000. And again, that's the minimum. So depending on what you want to spend, you're going to multiply between the 3 and 20% that you want to put down for how much you're wanting to spend. So whether that's 3%, 3.5%, 5%, 10, 20, 15, whatever that happens to be, just multiply that by how much you plan on spending. One of the best things I can encourage you to do is speak to a lender about what makes sense for you and your family or you as an individual when you're purchasing a home. Again, going back to what I mentioned with a budget, and also not spending more than you make, is we want to make sure that that budget is intact and it looks good and it's not putting you in a financial burden. So, and the other thing to be thinking about is down payment, or not down payment, I'm sorry, closing costs. Closing costs are something that I can help you get from the seller, because that's the one thing the seller can help us with, but they can't help us with the down payment. So that is something you definitely need to have set aside when you're purchasing a home. And again, your reserves, you're already going to have that from the last step that we talked about earlier. So again, main point of this video is there are big thing is talking with a mortgage lender, finding out how much of a house you want to purchase, and using those multipliers I mentioned earlier about how much you want to put down and saving that amount. Again, that's going to be contingent across the board for every single one of you, depending on your situation. But big thing is, please make sure that's fitting into your budget and it's not going beyond your means. Again, the point here is that we get to a point where we're now at a point where we can purchase a home, feel confident about that, and again, live a life worth living, which is what I want for you. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you have more questions, or if you have questions about buying or selling a home, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help. My contact information is below and in the description. Again, it's Kevin Wells, your bald-headed agent here in Greenville, South Carolina. Bye-bye.